Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on this new video. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button down below. I'm Christine and this is Editorial Edge. So as you can see by the title, I'm doing a video today that involves TikTok. I thought it would be really fun to do a writing exercise where I take a TikTok POV video and write and draft a story from that. If you don't know what a TikTok POV video is, it's basically a point of view video where they create scenarios that kind of range from horror, love, historical fiction, again, an endless number of things that have sprung from this. And they basically acted out on TikTok. My channel isn't really about acting, it's about writing. So I thought my twist on this would be that we take a TikTok POV video and instead of acting it out, I'll be writing it out where I actually draft a short story where we'll be diving into TikTok POV. I haven't seen anyone do this as far as a writing exercise or really a video that involves writing out a TikTok POV. If I'm mistaken and you know someone else who has already created this idea, please let me know and I'll be happy to credit them in the description bar below. I'm super excited for this video. I think this will be really fun and different. I do writing exercises, but usually they're writing exercises from writers and authors. This isn't really like that. I just think this is fun to do, to get creative, inspired, brainstorm, and even branch out of genres that I'm used to writing. So as you can tell, I'm excited. I hope y'all are excited. If there are any other author-tubers or even booktubers out there that want to do this video, please tag me in your videos because I want to see what you all are doing and how you all spin this writing exercise and the stories that you create. Like I said, I started my channel because I was really excited to dive into the community here on YouTube, be innovative, be creative, and have fun. And I think this is my first step into doing that. So let's get started with the video. So right now I'm gonna go through YouTube and go through some of the TikTok POVs that have been uploaded onto YouTube. I don't have a TikTok personally, so this is my only way of seeing those videos. So I'm gonna choose a few and then at the end I'll choose one to actually start the draft of one of these POVs. So right now I have a Google Doc pulled up so that I can jot down the video ideas that I find. So let's move over to choosing the video. This is funny and probably something that I'll get that might be helpful. So some of these videos are like, are kids okay? I'm just a little bit concerned. But I'm gonna keep looking. I have a few that I've written down so far, but I'm gonna keep looking. All right, so I have found a TikTok POV that I think will be really fun and interesting to write out as a story. So I found about 8 of them, and the one that I went with was a video where POV says she's agreed to be an experiment because she's in love with the mad scientist, and he attempts to give her the power of fire, but it doesn't go well. I'm gonna leave the TikTokers down below. Okay, so we have the POV. In writing, there's a story. So these POVs are what constitutes the story. Now, what the writing exercise is doing is, how do I tell this story? How does the protagonist interact with this mad scientist? What went wrong? Why is the mad scientist trying to give her the power of fire? What is the relationship between these two people? So the same thing goes with writing anything. There's a story. A girl went to the supermarket, but she tripped and scraped her knee, and now she's bleeding. That's the story. How you tell the story would be through things like POV. So the girl went to the supermarket, tripped, scraped her knee, now she's bleeding. but to tell the story, you're doing it from the perspective of another person that was walking down the street in front of her and saw her fall down and scrape her knee. So those are different things in how you tell the story. Oh god, my allergies. So I'm gonna sit here and brainstorm how I'm gonna tell this story or this POV. So I'm gonna try doing the POV of the girl first. If you haven't watched my other videos, I've said that I'm a rhetoric major, and one of the reasons why I really love rhetoric is that I get to find deeper meanings in really mundane things. So whenever I approach characters, I have a lot of fun because there's a lot of meanings to their names, their characters, their hobbies. I just think that's really fun. Okay, so she's agreed to be an experiment. So the mad scientist is trying to give her the power of fire. So maybe that's because she's a fiery person. Maybe she has red hair. Maybe she was in a fire and like that was her traumatic experience. Maybe that's why she fell in love with him. Maybe she's not fiery but afraid of them. Okay, so let's do the POV of the mad scientist. So he's mad. Maybe. But just because you're mad doesn't mean you're actually mad. People just think that you're mad. So maybe he's really a genuine person who likes to experiment. Maybe he's misunderstood. Maybe that's why he fell in love with the girl, because she understands him. So he tries to help. I don't know why, but I just like thought of Bill Nye the Science Guy. So I like what I have so far. I like the backstory of the fiery girl, or the girl that's afraid of fire, meeting the mad scientist who's now trying to help her overcome her fear of fire through giving her the power of fire. I think there's a lot of suspense and tension that can be created. So I'll see where, it takes me. But let's start writing. Alright, so I'm about halfway through the story right now, and I kind of really like it. I think this is a really fun exercise. I realized that it's not so much of a short story, but more of a scene. If you all decide to do this, an approach that I think would be helpful is to write it as if this is a singular scene in an entire book. Alright, so it's 9:43 and I just finished writing the scene out for this exercise, and it is 825 words. I thought it'd be fun if I read it to you all. David gave me an excited smile as he opened the door into his lab. I was always able to come into this room when I came over, but I just never did. I thought it was best to leave a man's laboratory to himself. Of course, I thought once we married and I had to call him to help with dinner, that I would one day come into this room, give him a kiss on the cheek, and pull him away from his work to be with me. Instead, I was now being escorted into his laboratory so he could perform what he calls the most important experiment he's ever conducted. "What's your step, honey?" he said, holding on to my hand. I nodded just as I placed my foot on the step stool to get onto the metal slab he needed me to lay on. My hand held up my dress, draped down to cover my feet. I realized I should have chosen a different outfit. Pants, perhaps, would have been the better choice. I twisted myself to face David, my body preparing to meet the cold table that was positioned in the center of his laboratory. His eyes were wide with excitement, so much so that I didn't think he saw the fear that were in mine. I was glad. I didn't want him to know I had my doubts at that moment, that I was afraid that this was all going wrong. I trusted him. I had to. I loved him. I was laying flat as a corpse on the metal table that my David had prepared. I was ready to be one of the proudest experiments he would have in his career. I wanted to see the light as bright as the one hanging above me at that moment shine in his eyes when this was all over. When I overcame my fear of fire by becoming the first to ever control it. Even as I closed my eyes, I could hear David's footsteps circling me. He was taping wires, or at least that's what I thought they were, on my fingertips, on my toes. I felt the warmth of his breath as he taped another onto my temples, my shoulders, my heart. David was always such a gentle man. Just as the pressure of his fingers lifted from my chest, he placed a kiss on my lips. I opened my eyes briefly, just in time to see the smile on his face as he looked down at me, wires manically taped on my body. My sweet David. I returned the smile, my hand instinctively reaching out to his. "Keep still, my love," he said, pushing my hand back onto the table. "It's almost ready." I was hurt that I couldn't touch him, but I understood. I wanted everything to go perfectly. For myself, but mostly for David. For weeks, he locked himself in this laboratory, calling my cell to update me on his latest advancements for this experiment. Sometimes, I was at my own home, watching TV when he called. Other times, I was fast asleep as if before in the morning. But that was my David, working around the clock just for me. My eyes were closed again. David's shuffling and the clicks of buttons sounded louder in my ears than it normally would. It was just nerves, I told myself, enhancing my other senses as I tried to stay still, my eyes finding solace against the blackness that was before me. "Are you ready, my love?" David almost sang. "You are to be my greatest achievement, my muse, my trophy, my masterpiece." I smiled. I loved the way he talked, always dramatized. But I loved it. He talked of me as if I were the only woman in his world, and that was what made me fall for him so deeply. I nodded, my eyes still closed. I trusted him. I had to. I love him, I reminded myself. David had let out a heavy breath. The sound of a lever being pulled echoed in the room. I found myself squinting my already closed eyes. The feeling one gets when looking down a drop of a roller coaster engulfed my body. David's instructions to still rang in my ears. It was cold at first, as if I had swum in a body of ice water, and then the burning erupted. First it was in my toes, traveled up to my fingertips. I couldn't hold it anymore. I was gonna let my sweet David down. My body had lost control of itself. I know I screamed at the pain, but I couldn't hear anything anymore. I couldn't see my David. I couldn't see the bright light above me. I would have never guessed the last thing I saw before I died was the fire I had created in my dear David's laboratory. I didn't think the story was going to end like that, but writing took the best of me, and that's what I could produce from this exercise. I had so much fun filming this video. I love this idea, and I really hope all the other Authortubers or anyone out there does this as a writing exercise as well. If you do, remember to tag me. I really want to see the video. Thank you all again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please click the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. I post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You can also click the bell notification so you will get reminded every time I post. And until then, bye everyone.